Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. I hope you guys are well. But today I'm going to talk to you about 6 main causes of injury. The first reason that you may find yourself injured is that you just may be fatigued, okay? And this can come in many different forms. So this could just be from you're just doing back-to-back days and you're not getting enough recovery. So basically you're finding yourself fatigued because you're just not recovering well. With the amount that you're doing, you just need more rest. People are just different. So sometimes you just may need more rest. Some people operate better from rest. I'm one of those kind of people. So just look at the number of sessions you're doing, how much you're doing in a session. You may be doing too much in a session. And again, your body's not having enough time to recover. Your power output might be so high that you just need more. You know, you may be doing a lot outside of training. So such as you're working as well, you're looking after the kids, you're doing so many different things that you're not getting enough sleep. So that, just looking at your sleep, looking at how many days that you're training, how long you're training for, what you're doing in the session. So that could be the first reason. Reason number 2 that you may be finding yourself getting injured could be that you're just doing too much too soon. So if you haven't checked out my video, how to progress your training and the principle of overload, I encourage you guys to check that video out because I talk a bit more in there about the principle of overload and progression. And I talk about how you don't want to overload too much or too little. You want to get it just right. And you also want to have steady, systematic, gradual growth, okay? So if you're trying to overload too quickly or too much too soon, that's why you might be finding yourself getting niggly and getting injured. So reason number 3 could be that you just have improper technique or form, okay? So when it comes to especially something like lifting or running, you really want to make sure that you've got the right technique down because, for example, let's talk about lifting. If you want to now start lifting heavier but your technique is incorrect, you start putting strain on your body in the areas that shouldn't be getting strained, okay? So that's why technique is so important. But especially when it comes to lifting, you want to make sure that you get your technique down before you start increasing the load for that very reason, because when you're not doing the correct technique, like I said, you start putting strain and stress in the wrong areas and other areas start compensating because of your lack of proper form. So really have a look at your technique. If you can improve your technique in your running. Are you twisting when you're running? Is that why your back's starting to be sore? Are you leaning back? Are you leaning forward? Do your knees turn in when you're having a look at your technique, you know, using video feedback, getting someone else to watch you do whatever it is that you do, and just, you know, get some advice and tips about proper form. If you've got any specific questions about lifting or running technique, for example, you can leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. I'm happy to do that. Reason number 4 as to why you may be finding yourself getting injured is weaknesses or imbalances, okay? So if you've got imbalances in your strength, so let's say you may not be weak per se, but one side might be stronger than the other, and so there's compensations happening there. So have a look at your strength. You know, if you always do double leg exercises or bilateral exercises, try and do unilateral / single leg exercises or single sided exercises so that you can actually see if there's any imbalances, because sometimes when you just do double leg all the time or double sided all the time, bilateral exercises all the time, you don't actually realize that one side is taking more of the stress than the other. One side is actually stronger, it's compensating for the other. So you know, this might be one of the reasons. There might be some imbalances, there might be some instability. So have a look at your, you know, try and improve your stability, things like this. So have a look at those, I guess, those minor weaknesses that you wouldn't necessarily think about because you're strong, because you're powerful. You don't realize, okay, my balance is awful, or like you know, I don't have strength in my wrist, for example, and then and then your shoulder starts taking a strain or stuff like this, okay? So just have a look at those imbalances and see if there's any imbalances or weaknesses that you can just work on to help prevent injury. Okay, so number 5, the 5th reason I've got in this video as to why you might be finding yourself getting injured, you just might be a stiff person, okay? You just might need to work on your flexibility. You are trying to put your body through a range of motion that it just can't hack because you're stiff. Okay, so yeah, just work. It's quite easy to improve your flexibility if you work on it regularly. So if you haven't checked out any of my stretch routines, I've got more than one full body stretch routine, so making sure that you stretch regularly to help improve your flexibility. And you know, if you have specifics, if you are in a specific sport or you do specific activities, then you know, working on those specific ranges of motion to make sure that you have the range that you need as you get more powerful. And so if you don't have the flexibility, then you just find things begin to pull and strain and get stressed. So yeah, work on your flexibility because you just might be stiff, and that might be one of the reasons as to why you're, you know, finding yourself tearing areas or straining areas that you don't want to strain. Okay, so my last tip or my last point as to reason I have in this video as to why you might be finding yourself getting injured is that you're just not warming up or cooling down properly. Number one, you just might not warm up or cool down at all. Many people, that is. Or you just might be not doing it properly, okay? So just really focusing to get your body ready for what you want to do. You know, your warm up and your cool down is not only just for your body, but it's for your mind as well. In terms of your mind, obviously your brain control send signals to your body to let it know and to start recruiting the fibers, recruiting the muscle groups that you want to utilize. And so when you warm up, you'll let your body know this is what we're going to be doing today. So not just only warming up by raising your heart rate and getting your blood circulating, but also in terms of ready for the type of exercise that you're going to do. So specific drills. So if you're going to run, for example, if you haven't checked out my dynamic warm-up video, I encourage you to check that out. But for example, let's say you're going to run, you're going to do a speed kind of session, or you're going to run, or you're going to do some kind of form of plyometrics, for example. That's why we do drills, for example, as sprinters, to mimic certain movements, to get your body ready for the type of movements that you want it to do. So doing that in your warm-up is going to help get your body ready as well. So if you're lifting, for example, don't just go straight in to start lifting heavy. Do some lighter lifts before, do some, you know, certain range of just a bar to get your body ready and active for the specific exercises that you're going to do. So make your warm-up more specific is what I'm trying to say, and also cool down. So many people just finish their session and just go home, okay? But listen, remember to cool down. Again, it tells your body that it needs to go into recovery, that you finished, and also it brings your heart rate back down, and it helps kickstart that recovery process. So just make sure that you warm down after that. Include, you know, stretching, which is what I mentioned previously when we spoke about being too stiff. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comment section below, if you're injured or you find yourself, you've been injured in the past, or you find yourself getting injured, which of these 6 areas do you think it might be? Or is there any of these areas that you feel like, okay, yeah, I need to get on top of that so I can help prevent injury in those areas because I've started to feel niggly and I think this might be why? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, guys, give it a big thumbs up to help me accelerate my channel. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe now and make sure to hit the bell. And I will see you guys next Friday.